Hi friends, this is Audi1 and you're watching part 12 of the sqli lab series. In the previous part 11, we started to explore the post-based injections and we did a kind of a revision for the error-based injection. In today's video, we would continue and revise double query injections, what we did in lesson 6. So let's start. For this lesson, I'm going to use lesson 14, the double injection, and we'll start again with exploring the application. Usually, if you're working with a clean database, then admin should work because that's the default username and password. But never mind. Let me just clear the cache data. So we start up clean. So we just provide some other input, something. So in case of a bad password, it just gives us login attempt failed. Let's try a single quotes. Does not work. Let's try a single quotes here and a single quotes here. Does not work. Let's try a double quotes. Submit and the query breaks. So we can just try to use the escape character and just see if the query breaks. Okay, and this is what we get. Let's copy it and move it to notepad. So after the slash there is a double quotes and closing, and same way the password field also has double quotes. So let's come back and try to fix the query. Double quotes, that should fix the query, and a hash. We can also use a hyphen, but I prefer hash. Okay, the query worked, but login failed because it did not match anything. Let's try to match it to 1 or 1. I'm not using 1 equals 1 because it resolves back to 1, and this should let us through. So we successfully logged in. This time we are not seeing any username or password on the screen as we were seeing for lesson 11. So imitating that when the application is working, although there is a database at the back end, but that database is not dumping anything onto the pages. So it's a kind of blank. So the only way to extract information is by using the MySQL errors. And by default, MySQL does not dump any useful information that we want in the MySQL errors. So we would be forcing it to dump what we want. Let's try it. Let's use our database security and let's start. Let's start with a basic query. We said select database and it returns the database name. Let's copy this and let's paste it here, because we would be building a complex query out of these simple queries. Now this is one query. Let's assume this to be a core part, and let's fix the query. Okay, it works. So we are just saying select, and whatever is returned by the internal query, just dump it or just convert it with the concat function to a string and dump it. Let's copy this building block as well. Coming back, let's try to insert something. Let's try to use the floor and the round function to just, or the random function, just to introduce some randomness into the string. Floor I'm assuming that you have done the lesson 6, so I am not going into details of how we are using the floor and the random function, and we are just building on the knowledge of lesson 6. So we have a security 0. Just for the sake of visual effects, we can use a sign tilde, and let's use it in front as well. So it dumps security 0. Now let's choose any table we feel like. I'll select information schema dot tables. Let's copy these building blocks as well. So all is done. Now we need to use the aggregate functions and group by clause to produce the error. How we had done it previously. And we gave it an alias A. You can give it C, X, anything. My syntax is incorrect. Let me just correct it. Let me just enclose everything. select concat from information schema dot tables. Okay, we can just I had to do it here. If I was giving an alias and I can give it any name, C, yes, it works, and the column name should be C, yes, and we can just say select count the aggregate function comma this what we derived and the group by C, and it gives us the error, and in the error it is dumping the database name. Well, in the previous chapter we also did the derived table name. Let's see if this works. If it works here, well and good, else we have to use that. Let's copy this complete statement first to the copy, paste, and it's better that we just use, because we know that the database driver that we have will not support this. So we'll say select one from this table, and we have to give it an alias. Let's call it A, and this should work. Let's try this out first at the back end. And it works. So we have the query, and let's use this in the front end. We had double quotes and we had the hash, so we got the left side, we got the right side, and in between and we have an error. Can someone tell me why this error came up? And there we go. Let me just paste this query here, because we did not use the brackets around, because AND is expecting us to give just one piece. And let's do other things. We can just copy this one more time, and instead of database we can call here version, let's copy this and let's use it, and we have the version. Let's copy it one more time and change data dir and you have var lib mysql, the location, and so forth. You can go on and enumerate the database. So some of you might be thinking that nothing changed. When we did the same, we were trying the same kind of method when we were using the get. We are trying the same method when we are using the post. So technically, if you are familiar with the queries, if you are familiar with the syntax of how MySQL is working and how you can write some queries in order to churn and milk the database, then you can extract the information you want, irrespective wherever the injection is. Let's try one more thing. Let's say user. If while practicing you receive MySQL errors, that means that there is some issue with the syntax of the query string, nothing more. And there you go. So just practice this double query injections, because we will be using these double query injections in the update query. Well, just to give an idea, lesson 17 is a password reset, a kind of space or a kind of a page where a user has already logged in, and then he has to provide his username and he has to provide an updated password so that the password is updated in the database. We'll cover this in the next lesson. Thank you for now. Bye bye.